Hello, this is Nina Reeves from Stuttering Therapy Resources, and today I'm here to give you a brief overview of a stuttering modification technique known as pullout. This is another technique that was developed by Charles Van Riper and outlined in his 1973 text. But before I get into the rationale and demonstration of a pullout, I wanted to remind you that we have a series of videos on techniques, and I want to also encourage you to go back and look at the tools introduction video that we posted first, because I think it can help you navigate how to introduce these techniques to your students. I also want to make a note that the order in which we post these videos no way implies that we think that this is a set way of teaching techniques or that there is any specific order. We know that which tool you choose and when you choose to introduce it is based on a variety of factors, most importantly, your knowledge of that child's specific needs. So let's talk about pullouts. The primary use of a pullout is to help a person who stutters change the physical tension in their speech mechanism during a stutter. And to review, Van Riper gave us 3 different techniques. One for before a stutter, that's a preparatory set, during a stutter, the pullout, and after a stutter has occurred, that's a cancellation. And we're outlining these in individual videos in this series. Now, if I can take a moment to make a little sidebar, I want to remind us as speech professionals that in order to teach any stuttering modification technique, we're going to need to be able to put stuttering in our own mouths. We're going to have to pseudo stutter. And so that means that we have to make ourselves less sensitive to doing that with people around. That may be an assignment that you may need to make for yourself if you're sensitive to putting stuttering in your own mouth. Because as you're teaching a student, let's say a pullout, you're going to need to demonstrate it and then coach them through it as they do their pseudo stutter for the first time and use a pullout. You're going to be there showing and then coaching as the process starts in learning a new technique. So for example, if you're helping a student learn how to do a pullout for the first time, you may start with a word, let's say cat, and I'm going to use the word cat as an example, and then I'm going to talk to you as if I was your speech coach in that moment. So we would get into a moment of stuttering. Let's do a little pseudo stuttering together. Do it with me. And feel, where's your tension? Where's your tension? Okay, you got that? Okay, let's keep doing it. Feel where your tension is. And then when you're ready, I want you to release the tension slowly and say the rest of the word. Watch me first. Cat. Yeah, that one felt like I released it. Now you try. Okay, great. Now feel the tension. Okay, where's it at? Whenever you're ready, ease out of the tension. Okay, how did that feel to you? All right, that's my little demonstration of how I would coach a child or a student through a pullout when we're first learning it, which means you're going to have to do some pseudo stuttering. So just a little tip to get ready for that process. Now the steps to a pullout include catching a moment of stuttering, staying in it long enough to identify the location of tension, and then easily and slowly easing out of that moment of tension during the stutter. So let me do a little bit of pseudo stuttering to demonstrate. Let's say I was going to get into a stutter on the word cat in this sentence. My cat is pretty. Notice what I did there. I was in a moment of stuttering. I caught it. I stayed in that moment long enough to identify that the location of tension was my tongue pressing up against the back of my mouth. And then I gained a sense of control over that moment of stuttering, and I eased out of the tension. A pullout can be used with any type of stutter, a repetition, a prolongation, or a block. It can also be introduced with pseudo stuttering, such as what I did just now. And then children and students can learn to catch those moments in real stutters as they progress in the mastery of the tool. Notice that I demonstrated it with a sentence. I often introduce the pullout at the word level first because I want my students to really focus on that moment of tension so that they can get to know it, feel it, understand it, and then be able to gain a sense of control over it and ease it up. I'm going to show you a few more in different places in the speech mechanism and on different types of stutters. So let me demonstrate. Something like babies, or ocean, or even lady. Let me demonstrate it in another sentence for you. Her friend is coming to dinner. So there's a lot of different ways a pullout can be introduced and used and mastered for your students who stutter. But even though its primary purpose is to decrease moments of tension during a stutter, there's also many more benefits that a pullout gives us, such as desensitization. Did you notice that your student is going to have to stay in that moment of stutter long enough to be able to gain a sense of control over it? Well, that brings about some desensitization because the student is going to become, over time, less sensitive to that uncomfortable feeling of staying in a moment and being in a moment of stuttering. Learning pullouts can really also help to decrease avoidances over time, because any student who learns that they can feel empowered enough to change the physical tension during a moment of stuttering is less apt to run from the stutter by going around the word or stopping and starting over or pushing through the word or just not saying the rest of his thought. So desensitization and decreased avoidance are some of the other benefits of a pullout. We have lots more to say about pullouts and all the other tools and techniques used for handling and managing stuttering, as well as assessment and other treatment aspects of stuttering in school-age children in our book, School-Age Stuttering Therapy, A Practical Guide. You can find that on our website, www.stutteringtherapyresources.com, and you can find us all over social media, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Until we see each other again, we thank you so much for watching.